Today we're going to tie the Valley Caddis. Valley Caddis was originally tied for Valley Creek, Pennsylvania in Valley Forge. It was tied as a swimming caddis pattern to match the naturals that I found there, and then it did exceptionally well when applying a Lysin ring lift to the end of the drift. It has since done wonderful across the state as a standard caddis pattern as well, dead drifted under an indicator on limestone and Spring Creek applications. So I want to share it with you. We begin by using a size 12 down to 16 caddis merger hook. A scud hook will work just as well. I tie most of mine on caddis merger just because I have a number of other patterns that I use it for, that hook for, so it's handy in my box. But a scud, standard scud, works well. Interchangeable. You're going to bring your thread back to about the midway point of the bend of the hook, and then bring it back to the middle. At this point, we're going to put 5 or 6 wraps of medium to fine lead wire, starting at the point of the hook and bringing it towards the eye. This will provide two things. It'll provide weight. I don't want to tie this with a bead head, and it'll also help to assist in the taper of the fly, giving the fly the profile that I'm looking for. You bring your thread back and forth, bind it down well, and then stop just behind the lead. At this point, we're going to tie in our body glass. Just behind the lead, and bind it back the shank to the midway point. And we're going to follow that with a section of wild turkey tail. I prefer a section with some modeling. And you're going to bind that back as well. At that point, you're going to dub your abdomen. For the abdomen, I use natural Hairtron. It's rabbit dubbing with Antron in it, but not too much. I prefer the Hairtron over some of the flashier nymph materials because it's a little more subtle. I use the natural number 11 Hairtron. So I do not want this to be too flashy. I just want a little bit of sparkle in the body. And you're going to bring your abdomen forward to about the 60% mark of the shank, just a little bit past midway. You should be just creeping up on the lead, then you'll know you're there. Just a tad bit more. I don't want that to step down behind the lead. I want to be right on it. There we go. At this point, you're going to bring your wing case forward. To the front of the abdomen. And secure it. And then you're going to bring your micro tubing forward, making sure you keep your wing case up top and don't roll it over. Make sure you secure this tubing very well. It does like to slip. And before I trim my butt ends for my tubing, I pull my wing case back to the point of the beginning of the abdomen, or the end of the abdomen as well. And I trim my excess tubing. Next, you're going to tie in your legs. I use wood duck. I prepare it as such, split it. I place it long at the beginning of the wing case. I give 2 or 3 wraps to keep it in place, but loose wraps, not that loose. And you're going to pull them short. You're going to bring them in to about a point, about half a gap length past the bend of the hook. And you're going to tie them in. And trim your excess. Make sure you got the separation that you're looking for. Your wing case will help with that. Get the fibers where you want them. And then you're going to dub your thorax. Thorax is the same material, natural Hairtron. You're going to give it a slight taper, but the lead will assist in that, so you don't have to overdo it. I like to start when I'm tapering the thorax, start in the front, work my way back, and then bring it forward as I need it. At this point, you're going to pull your wing case forward, making sure your legging cooperates. A few wraps behind, lift it, a few wraps in front, and back behind again. Trim your butt ends, and bind them down. Form your head. And whip finish. At this point, you're going to coat your thorax portion of your wing case. You can use Sally Hansen's. You can use UV, whichever one is handier and whichever one you prefer. I'll use UV on this one. Give that a shot of light. Let it cure. And trim off any obviously stray fibers. Like I said, the Hairtron is going to pick out without a problem. It's going to form its own legging. So you're not too concerned with that. You don't have to pick it out with a bodkin. I like to pick out the stray antron that's obviously more than I want. And there you go. The Valley Caddis. A wonderful pattern to have in your box. It's a very nicely performing caddis pattern on pretty much any water. I hope it adds to your box as well. Thank you. Good luck on the water.